Welcome to Business Technology Platform Troubleshooting. Let's learn how to solve problems in SAP BTP. This means we will explore methods to identify and fix issues when applications or services do not work as expected. For example, if a user cannot access an app due to an authentication error, we will trace the cause and resolve it. Mastering these skills ensures you can maintain smooth operations. Troubleshooting means finding and fixing issues. This is the process of identifying what's wrong in a system and then resolving it. For example, if a user cannot log in, you check their credentials and network connection to solve the problem. Mastering this approach is key to maintaining smooth system operations. We will build your confidence step by step. This means starting with simple problems and gradually tackling more complex issues, ensuring you learn effectively. For example, we begin with a basic authentication error before moving to application deployment failures. Each solved problem will make you more capable and self-assured in handling BTP challenges. You will learn a clear, simple approach. This means using a step-by-step method to identify and solve issues systematically, not randomly. For instance, if an application fails, you first check its logs, then dependencies, and finally the platform service status. This structured path makes resolving problems straightforward and reliable. What is troubleshooting in the Business Technology Platform? It is the process of identifying why something isn't working. Think of it as detective work for your applications. When an error occurs, you systematically find the root cause. For instance, if a user cannot log in, you check their credentials and system permissions. This methodical approach ensures you can resolve issues effectively. Like when an app stops responding or shows errors. This means something is wrong with your application's function or display. For example, a sales report app might suddenly display a blank screen instead of data. Identifying and fixing such issues ensures your business processes run smoothly and reliably. We follow steps to find the root cause. This means using a logical process to identify the original source of a problem, not just its symptoms. For example, if an app is slow, you'd check the code, database, and network systematically. This structured approach ensures you solve the actual issue efficiently. Then we apply the right solution. This means selecting the specific fix that matches the problem's cause. For instance, if your app cannot connect to the SAP S/4HANA system, the solution might be to check and correct the destination configuration in the BTP cockpit. Using the precise fix ensures the issue is resolved efficiently and correctly. Common problems you might encounter. Applications not starting properly. This means your app fails to launch or crashes immediately after deployment. For example, a simple employee directory app might not start because a required database service is not correctly bound. Always verify your service bindings and application dependencies to ensure a successful start. Services showing error messages. This means a BTP service is reporting a problem and may not be working correctly. For example, the SAP HANA Cloud Service might show a connection failed error, preventing your application from accessing its database. Always check the service's logs and status for specific details to resolve these issues quickly. Users cannot access what they need. This means users lack permissions to use specific applications or data, often due to incorrect role assignments. For instance, an employee might be unable to view sales reports because their user profile isn't linked to the necessary role. Properly configuring user authorizations is essential for smooth business operations. Unexpected behavior in your BTP environment. This means your SAP BTP setup is acting strangely or not as intended without a clear reason. For example, an application might suddenly stop responding even though you haven't made any recent changes. Recognizing these anomalies early is crucial for maintaining a stable and reliable cloud platform. A systematic approach is essential for enterprise success. Prevents wasting time on random fixes. This means solving problems methodically rather than guessing. For example, if an app is slow, systematically checking each component finds the root cause, instead of randomly restarting services. This focused approach ensures your efforts are efficient and effective every time. Helps you solve problems faster. A systematic method gives you a clear roadmap, so you do not waste time guessing. For example, if an app is slow, you'd check the code, then the database, in a logical order. This organized process ensures you find and fix the root cause efficiently every single time. Reduces stress and confusion. This means having a clear, step-by-step plan prevents feeling overwhelmed or lost during SAP BTP projects. For example, developers can follow a predefined checklist for deploying applications instead of figuring it out from scratch each time. This systematic method ensures smoother, more predictable outcomes every time. Builds your troubleshooting skills over time. This means each problem you solve teaches you how to fix future issues more effectively. For example, if an application fails to start, you learn to check the service bindings first next time. This continuous learning turns you into a proficient problem solver on the platform. Your troubleshooting mindset. Stay calm and curious. This means approaching problems with a relaxed, inquisitive attitude instead of panic. For instance, if a BTP application fails to start, calmly check the service bindings and logs to understand the why rather than just restarting it. This mindset transforms issues into learning opportunities, making you a more effective troubleshooter. Assume there's a logical reason. This means when a problem occurs, believe there is a valid cause rather than random chance. For instance, if your app fails to start, check your configuration files for errors instead of assuming it is a system fluke. Adopting this mindset guides you to find root causes efficiently. Take notes as you investigate. This means documenting every step and observation during problem solving, as details are easily forgotten. For example, if an application fails, write down error codes, timestamps, and the sequence of your actions. This creates a reliable record, making it easier to identify patterns or share findings. Good notes are the foundation of efficient troubleshooting. Celebrate small discoveries along the way. This means valuing each minor issue you solve, as it builds your skills and confidence. For example, identifying a simple configuration error in your BTP account and fixing it yourself is a win. Each small success makes you more capable and motivated for the next challenge. Begin troubleshooting at the first sign of system irregularities. When users report something isn't working, This means you begin troubleshooting as soon as people encounter issues. For example, if a team member says they cannot access their cloud application dashboard despite correct login credentials, acting on user reports ensures you address real problems affecting productivity immediately. When you see error alerts in BTP Cockpit, this means the system has detected an issue that needs your attention, like a service being unavailable. For example, if your application's connectivity service shows a red error icon, it will not connect to other systems. Addressing these alerts promptly keeps your solutions running smoothly. When monitoring shows unusual patterns, this means your system metrics, like response times or error rates, deviate from their normal, expected behavior. For example, if your application's memory usage suddenly spikes to 90% during low traffic hours, that's an unusual pattern. It is a clear signal to begin your investigation immediately. When new deployments do not behave as expected, this means your newly launched application or service is malfunctioning right after going live. For instance, a recently deployed app might crash immediately upon user login instead of displaying the dashboard. Addressing these initial deployment issues promptly ensures your solution starts on solid ground. Step 1. Understand the problem. Ask what exactly is happening. This means clearly identifying the issue before jumping to solutions. For instance, if a sales report is delayed, don't assume it's a data issue. Ask whether it's a system error, data upload problem, or user mistake. Pinpointing the root cause saves time and resources in your BTP project. Check when did it start. This means identifying the exact time the issue first occurred. For example, if a sales report stopped updating, determine if it was after a recent system update last Tuesday. Pinpointing this moment helps narrow down potential causes and accelerates resolution. Identify who is affected. This means pinpointing the specific users or departments experiencing the business challenge. For instance, if a sales team cannot access real-time customer data on their mobile devices, they are the ones directly impacted. Understanding this is the foundation for building an effective solution. Note any error messages shown. This means checking if the system displayed any specific error codes or messages when the problem occurred. For example, if a sales report fails to generate, look for an error like connection to database failed. Always document these details, as they are crucial for diagnosing and resolving the issue efficiently. Step 2. Gather the necessary information. Log into BTP Cockpit. This means accessing the central web interface where you manage all your SAP BTP services and applications. For instance, a developer enters their credentials to view and configure their Cloud Foundry environment. This initial step is essential for performing any administrative or development tasks on the platform. Navigate to the affected area. This means going directly to the specific part of the system where the problem or task is located. For instance, if an integration flow is failing, you would open the SAP Integration Suite to find that specific flow. This focused approach saves time and effort by taking you right to the source. Check service status and logs. This means verifying if your SAP BTP services are running properly and reviewing their activity records. For example, if your application is slow, You can check the logs to see if a service is down or experiencing errors. This step helps you quickly identify and resolve issues. Look for patterns or recent changes. This means observing recurring issues or what's different just before problems occur. For instance, if a financial report fails every Monday morning, that's a pattern to investigate. Identifying these clues is essential for quickly finding the root cause of an issue. Step 3. Identify possible causes. Consider recent configuration changes. This means checking if any system settings were altered just before the issue appeared. For example, a new security rule might have accidentally blocked a legitimate user from accessing an application. Always verify these modifications first, as they are a common source of unexpected problems. Check resource limits and quotas. This means verifying if your SAP BTP environment has enough allocated capacity, like memory or services, to run your applications without hitting predefined boundaries. For example, if an app fails to start, it might be because the assigned memory quota is fully used. Always monitor these to prevent such disruptions. Review dependency connections. This means checking how different components rely on each other to function. For instance, if a mobile app cannot fetch data, verify its connection to the backend database service. Identifying these links helps pinpoint where a failure originates, ensuring you can resolve issues efficiently and maintain system stability. Look for common known issues. This means checking documented problems that others have encountered before. For example, if your application isn't connecting to the database, first verify if it is a known network configuration issue in the SAP BTP documentation. Starting with these frequent problems saves valuable time and effort. Step 4. Test your theories. Make one change at a time. This means altering only a single variable during testing to clearly identify its effect. For instance, if your app is slow, first adjust only the memory limit, not both memory and code. Isolating changes ensures you know exactly what resolves or causes each issue, preventing confusion from multiple simultaneous modifications. Test if the problem resolves. This means applying your proposed solution and checking if the issue is actually fixed. For example, if you suspect a memory leak, restart the service and monitor memory usage. This hands-on verification is the definitive way to confirm your solution works, saving time and effort. Keep track of what you try. This means documenting each test you perform and its outcome. For example, if you test a new app feature, record whether it worked or what error occurred. This log saves time and builds a knowledge base for future troubleshooting. Consistent logging ensures you do not repeat mistakes and can trace your progress effectively. If it does not work, try another approach. This means when your initial solution fails, pivot instead of forcing it. For example, if your CAP service deployment fails due to memory limits, try reducing dependencies rather than repeatedly increasing memory allocation. This iterative testing is fundamental to efficient development. Step 5. Apply the solution. Once you find what works, implement it. This means moving your successful prototype into a live production environment. For example, after testing a new mobile app for field technicians that reduces reporting time, you would deploy it for all technicians to use daily. This final step turns your proven concept into a real-world business solution. Verify the problem is fully resolved. This means confirming that the initial issue no longer exists and all its effects are gone. For example, after fixing a payroll calculation error, you would run test payrolls for various scenarios to ensure correct payments. This final check ensures your solution is complete and reliable. Document what you did for next time. This means keeping a clear record of your steps so anyone can repeat the process later. For example, after setting up a new user, write down each configuration step in a shared team file. This simple habit saves time and ensures consistency for future tasks. Share knowledge with your team. This means documenting what you've built and explaining it to colleagues so everyone understands and can use the solution. For example, after creating a new app, hold a short workshop to walk your team through its features and how it works. This ensures everyone can contribute and the project continues smoothly. Practice in the SAP Business Technology Platform cockpit. Familiarize yourself with navigation. This means learning how to move through the BTP cockpit's menus and options confidently. For example, practice locating your account's global regions and switching between them to manage resources. Mastering this basic skill ensures you can efficiently perform all other tasks in the cockpit. Learn where to find service status. This means knowing how to check if a specific BTP service is running properly or experiencing issues. For example, before starting a development task, you verify the SAP HANA service is available and healthy. Always confirm service status to ensure your applications and processes function without interruption. Practice locating logs and metrics. This means finding and viewing system records and performance data within the BTP cockpit. For example, after deploying an application, you can check its logs to see if it started correctly. Mastering this skill is essential for effective application monitoring and troubleshooting. Explore different areas confidently. This means you should freely navigate the BTP cockpit to understand its various services and tools without hesitation. For example, try switching between the global account and sub-account views to see resource usage. Becoming familiar with the layout builds your proficiency for managing cloud applications efficiently. You are ready to begin. You now understand troubleshooting basics. This means you can systematically identify and resolve SAP BTP issues step by step. For example, if an application fails to start, you check its logs first to pinpoint the error. This foundational skill will make you more confident and effective in managing your solutions. You have a clear step-by-step approach. This means you follow a logical sequence, breaking complex tasks into manageable stages. For instance, to build an app, you'd first set up your account, then create a project, develop, and finally deploy. This structured method ensures you progress smoothly and confidently each time. Remember to stay calm and systematic. This means working methodically through each step without rushing or panicking. For instance, when deploying an app, follow the checklist, check dependencies, configure services, then deploy instead of skipping steps. This disciplined approach ensures you build solutions correctly and avoid costly mistakes. You will build skills with each problem you solve. This means that hands-on challenges are your best teachers. For example, when you troubleshoot a cloud integration issue, you will learn how data mapping works. Every solution you create strengthens your expertise and prepares you for more complex scenarios ahead.